all joining us today. So let me tell you about my friend Michael Johnson, who after graduation was given 2 wonderful job offers. The first one was at a smaller company that had the traditional office space where he would attend work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, every week. And while the pay at that job was a little bit greater than the pay at the second job, which was at a much larger company, but allowed him to have a lot more autonomy within his work week. They used the concept of hoteling, which meant that his work week varied and was different every single day. He could have a work day that was 9 to 5, he could have a work day that was only half a day, or he was only required to be in the office for meeting a deadline or working on a team project with his coworkers. Now, after weighing pros and cons to both of these wonderful job opportunities, he decided to go with a larger company that implemented the concept of hoteling. So, what exactly did Michael Johnson get himself into?
So, what exactly is hoteling? TechTarget defines hoteling as the practice of providing office space to employees on an as-needed rather than traditional basis. So ideally, somebody like our friend Michael Johnson or somebody who travels a lot for work would just go onto this online reservation website and reserve an office space, a desk or cubicle for the day that they need it rather than coming into work every day. So ideally, an employee using this system would only come to the office when they need to interact with somebody face-to-face. Hoteling is a branch off of the idea of non-territorial office spaces, which came to rise due to 2 things. One of the 2 things was the increase of mobility of the workforce. So basically, mobility allows people who are working to work from anywhere due to advancements in technology. So a lot of people work from their iPhones and their laptops. They can work anywhere. This is how our friend Michael Johnson is able to only come into the office a few days a week because he works a lot from his mobile devices. So in 2016, the global market was around 1.45 billion, and it's expected to increase to 1.87 billion in 2022. The second major factor that led to the increase in non-territorial office spaces is the increase in work travel. So research shows that in 2016, 70% year-on-year growth in spend by corporate travelers and a significant rise in the number of visits. So from all this information, we can see that the system of hoteling is best used for people who travel a lot for their jobs or companies that foster the mobile workforce. It can be predicted that hoteling will probably increase in the future due to technological advancements and more frequent traveling. And in addition, hoteling benefits companies overall because they don't have to provide as much office space, so that decreases their overhead pretty significantly. So now that we can see how hoteling came to rise, what are the possible benefits that Michael Johnson experienced through this system?
The most important features of hoteling is the autonomy that employees have due to the flexibility of their work weeks. So positive feelings stem from hoteling because they give employees an increased sense of freedom, less commuting time to work, and a general increase in task productivity. So due to the benefits of hoteling, Michael Johnson has been able to take the money that he saved from commuting and invest it into personal hobbies, such as microbrewing. He has also been able to utilize more time at home that he would have otherwise been spending at the office unnecessarily. So, hoteling also provides employees with a heightened sense of empowerment. They receive this empowerment from the fact that they have so much autonomy and are able to decide which projects and tasks they think are most important and deserve their most of their attention when they're in the office. So hoteling also relates to important organizational behavior outcomes, such as job performance and job design. First, I'll talk about the effects of hoteling on job performance. So this new adaptation to the workplace positively affects job performance because individuals have decreased counterproductive behaviors in the office itself. So since employees are only coming into the office when they think it's absolutely necessary or when they need to utilize the office's resources or collaborate with team members, they're much less likely to engage in non-work hindrances, such as cyber loafing or gossiping or just standing around talking to other people. So due to these decreased non-task related hindrances, the job performance of employees increases a lot. So hoteling also impacts job design, which relates to employees' attitudes and performance. So hoteling is an idiosyncratic deal, which means that employees create flexible schedules for themselves, but they also engage with their managers and other coworkers and maintain those relationships. So a recent study performed by the International Workplace Studies program at Cornell University have identified critical success factors of hoteling for the office place in general, which include improved attitudes of employees to going to work as a whole, spending time in the office, and increased productivity and communication with fellow coworkers. So this stems back to the levels of collaboration and teamwork that employees are able to have due to this increase in ideal job design flexibility. So because their time in the office is spent with a specific goal and purpose in mind, when they collaborate with other employees, they have a more vibrant exchange of ideas because they're more willing to achieve their goals. This topic is important for managers because of its increasing popularity in the workplace in general. So companies as a whole are realizing the practical implications of hoteling and are starting to implement the system into their office spaces. So an example is the company IBM. They were one of the first companies to utilize hoteling, and in 1994 they had 20% of their workforce engaged in hoteling activities. And that has doubled, and in 2009 they had 40% of their employees utilizing the hoteling reservation systems for in-office space. So other companies, other large companies such as American Express, utilize managers to oversee the employees that come in for hoteling. So they train their managers to understand that the employees look for this autonomy and flexibility, and that's why they engage in the hoteling. So as a manager, it is important to understand hoteling and to understand that the employees are willing and able to be in the office, and that their guidance is based a lot off of the freedom that managers can give them.
Now that we've seen the benefits of that Michael Johnson has received through his hoteling experience, let's take a look at what management needs to be able to do to uphold hoteling successfully. The General Services Administration discusses how in order to create a successful hoteling atmosphere, that managers should be prepared for peak demand of employees on any given day rather than the average employees that could be strolling through the office. They also want managers to consider what the employees are giving up in exchange for the hoteling experience, and to understand that when hoteling is first implemented in the office, that there may be some bumpy patches and rocky roads as they begin, and to use those experiences as opportunities for growth as a company. So these are just a couple points on how managers can successfully implement hoteling to benefit both the company by reducing CO2s from the unneeded drives to the office and cutting unnecessary costs like their space that they're using, and then it also benefits employees like Michael Johnson.
So now that we have seen some of the practical implications of hoteling, it is clear to see why management utilizes this practice in office workplaces.
We'd also like to thank you on joining us on the journey of Michael Johnson as he first became conditioned to hoteling, and 5 years down the road is still extremely productive and successful, and has been able to spend even more time with his family and enjoying his personal hobbies.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope you have a great day and safe travels home.